The air smelled of fried dough and buttered popcorn, sweet and greasy enough to make a boy's stomach churn even before the ride started spinning. It was August 18th, 1979, the last night of the Mills End Summer Carnival, though no one knew it then. The carnival had been there every summer for as long as anyone could remember, set up in the weed-strangled lot behind Fairweather Road, just where the street lamps thinned out and the forest pressed in. Bright lights and painted signs made the world feel a little bigger than the tired town of Mills End. For a week every year, you could forget the rusted pickup trucks and the worn houses with peeling white paint. For a week, Mills End smelled of cotton candy instead of old oil and wood smoke. On that night, the carnival glowed like a living thing. Step right up, barked a man in a checkered vest and straw hat, his teeth too white in the carnival lights. Win a prize for the little lady! 3 balls for $1. The Ferris wheel towered over it all, a crown of neon against the Maine sky. Its creak could be heard even above the calliope music, which blared from the merry-go-round like a tune played on broken teeth. Kids clutched stuffed bears, balloon animals, plastic ray guns that shot sparks when you pulled the trigger. Parents stood smoking in the shadows, glad to let their children run wild for a few hours. In the shadow of the Ferris wheel stood Tommy Gilchrist, age 8, one freckled hand stuffed deep in the pocket of his shorts. His other hand was wrapped tight around a bright red balloon, the string cutting into his fingers. Tommy had begged his parents to let him ride the wheel. He wanted to see the town from up high, to look down on all of Mills End and maybe even spot the spire of St. Mary's Church from up there. His mother had said no, not tonight. She was already holding the hand of Tommy's little sister, Maggie, who was sticky with cotton candy and starting to cry. But his father had laughed, patted him on the head, and said, "Go on then. Be a big man. Don't get sick." So Tommy had run, balloon bouncing against his shoulder, and joined the line. The Ferris wheel operator was a tall man in a striped red jacket with brass buttons, his face shadowed beneath a brimmed hat. No one seemed to know his name. He never smiled, not even when the kids waved at him. The wheel turned slow, each creaking rotation carrying squeals and laughter into the humid night. The metal struts shimmered in the colored bulbs, red and yellow and green blinking like carnival stars. When it was Tommy's turn, he climbed into the seat alone, too proud to ask for company. The operator's hand was heavy on his shoulder as he pushed the safety bar down with a rusty click. "Hold on tight, boy," the man muttered, voice rough as gravel. The wheel began to lift. Up he went, higher and higher, the carnival shrinking beneath him. The smells of frying dough and hot oil faded into the cooler scent of pine drifting from the woods. The higher he rose, the quieter the music seemed, as if he was floating away from the world. From the top, he could see everything, the street lamps of Mills End glowing like dull yellow pearls, the dark sprawl of forest pressing close on all sides. Beyond that, only shadows and the long stretch of the Kennebec River, silver in the moonlight. He might have laughed if not for the sound. It came from below, from the guts of the Ferris wheel itself, a groaning, not the squeak of old metal but something wetter, more alive. Like the sound of something breathing through clogged lungs. Tommy gripped his balloon tighter. The string dug into his skin. The wheel stopped. Tommy's seat shuddered, swayed in the night air. He was at the very top, higher than the glowing bulbs, his shoes dangling in empty space. The carnival music slowed, warping like a record melting in the sun. Then the whisper came. Not through his ears, but through his hand, the hand gripping the balloon's string. A voice, thin and hissed, traveling down the taut cord and burrowing into his bones. "Jump, Tommy!" His breath caught. He looked down, eyes watering in the humid air. The ground seemed miles away, a quilt of lights and shadows. The balloon tugged against him, though there was no wind. "Jump, and you'll fly forever." Tommy squeezed his eyes shut. He told himself it was just his imagination, just the wind through the iron spokes. But when he opened them again, he saw the balloon's red skin pulsing, as if it had veins beneath its rubbery flesh. The wheel jolted, a sickening lurch. The crowd below gasped. Someone screamed. The operator didn't move. His shadowed face tilted upward, watching. The whisper grew louder, slithering under Tommy's skin. "Let go. We'll catch you." The balloon writhed in his fist like a living thing. And then Tommy screamed, high, shrill, a sound that cut through the carnival music like a knife. The balloon burst in his hand with a wet pop. His fingers opened, reaching for the air. By the time the wheel turned again, the seat was empty. The crowd below surged forward, but no body was ever found. Only the string remained, hanging limp from the seat, stained dark with something thicker than air. The Ferris wheel operator finally smiled, teeth glinting in the glow of the bulbs. The carnival closed the next day. The posters were torn down, the trucks rolled away. But everyone in Mills End remembered the last scream of Tommy Gilchrist. And some nights, when the wind was right, folks swore they still heard the Ferris wheel turning out there in the weeds, long after the carnival was gone.